Hi, and welcome to Culture Lit, a podcast and community that explores Black women and romantic love through the lens of romance novels. I'm your host, Octavia Marie. Each episode of Culture Lit trains a spotlight on a new Black romance novel and then deep dives into the many themes facing Black women and love after 40. Be ready to laugh, sigh, and talk about Black women falling in love, yes, sex too, and the Black authors writing their stories. Hello. Welcome back to Culture Lit, the podcast that explores Black women and Black love through the lens of Black romance books. I'm your host, Octavia Marie, and today we're discussing a romance novel with a delightful blend of love, technology, and personal growth in Danielle Allen's Curvy Girl Summer. Before we jump in, let me just set the scene a little. Imagine Bridget Jones' Diary meets Survival of the Thickest. That's the vibe of Curvy Girl Summer. A smoking hot and hilarious look at the perils of online dating through the eyes of Aaliyah James. This book opens with a bang, literally. After a one-night stand with her clingy ex, Aaliyah has an epiphany. She's ready for something more meaningful, something more than casual flings and situationships. But her family, they think the clock is ticking. Now, Aaliyah's only 29. She's turning 30 soon. But when they imply that her personality and her body might be too big to land a man, Aaliyah decides to prove them wrong. She gives herself 7 weeks to find herself the perfect boyfriend to show off at her big, fancy 30th birthday celebration. What I love about Aaliyah is her strength of character. She knows exactly who she is, exactly what she wants, and what she won't stand for. It's refreshing to see a curvy/plus-size woman who isn't defined by her size, even when others try to put her in that box. Danielle Allen has created a character who is confident, funny, sexy, and unapologetically herself. Aaliyah's journey isn't about changing who she is to find love. It's about finding someone who appreciates her for exactly who she is. Let's talk about the online dating scenes, because this is where the book shines. Now, I've never ventured into online dating, but as Aaliyah jumps into the world of dating apps, she encounters a whole spectrum of quirky and unexpected suitors. Danielle does a fantastic job of portraying the complexities of the modern dating scene, from ghosting to catfishing. It's a hilarious yet authentic mirror to the digital dating experiences that many women face today. Based on some of the unbelievable stories I've heard about from friends and those who've stuck their toe in the dating pool of dating apps, this is a ride. One particular date had me flat out hollering. Without giving too much away, let's just say it involves a man who takes the concept of dinner and a show to a whole new level. Aaliyah's reaction to these dating disasters are priceless. Hey girl, hey. If you're enjoying the show, make sure you sign up for our occasional newsletter and join our community at culturelitpodcast.com, where we share book reviews. You can interact with our guests and you'll have a chance to tell me your story and be a part of our community. That's culturelitpodcast.com. Now back to the show. I found myself nodding along thinking, yep, been there, done that. But here's where the story takes an interesting turn. Enter Ahmad Williamson, the charming bartender at the bar where Aaliyah meets these online dates. Ahmad suggests Aaliyah try using a dating app and sort of becomes Aaliyah's wingman. Their interactions spark more chemistry than any of her online matches, though. Allen cleverly juxtaposes virtual romance with genuine human connection, highlighting how true chemistry often unfolds face-to-face despite the convenience of apps. What I particularly enjoyed about this book is how Allen tackles the impact of technology on love and relationships. While dating apps bring Aaliyah and her dates together, it's the direct, unfiltered communication with Ahmad that deepens their connection. This dynamic allows Allen to explore broader themes of authenticity, vulnerability, and the courage to pursue what truly fulfills us. The slow burn romance between Aaliyah and Ahmad was almost too slow, but it's sweet and eventually very steamy. Their banter is top-notch, kind of reminiscent of classic screwball comedies, but with a modern twist. However, I found myself occasionally frustrated by the lack of communication. There were moments when I wanted to shake the shit out of both of the characters and to tell them to just fucking talk to each other. But isn't that just like real life? How often do we fail to communicate our true feelings in relationships? This leads me to one of the book's strengths. It's relatability. Allen has created characters and situations that feel real and familiar, whether it's the awkwardness of a first date, the challenge of putting yourself out there after being hurt, or the struggle to stand up to well-meaning but misguided family members. There is something in this book that will resonate with almost everyone. And speaking of family, let's talk about Aaliyah's. They play a significant role in her journey, both as a source of motivation and frustration. The family dynamics are complex and nuanced, reflecting the reality of many Black families. There's love, but there's also judgment and outdated thinking, particularly when it comes to body image and expectations of marriage and what success looks like. One scene that stood out to me is when Aaliyah's uncle makes some particularly hurtful comments about her weight. It's a moment that will make your blood boil, but it's also a turning point for Aaliyah. She stands up for herself in a way that's both powerful and graceful, setting boundaries and demanding respect. It's a moment of growth for Aaliyah and a reminder to readers that we all have the right to be treated with dignity regardless of our size or our relationship status. Now, I do want to give a little content warning. The book contains some instances of fat shaming and fetishization, particularly from Aaliyah's family and some of her dates. While it's an accurate reflection of experiences many plus-size women face, it could be triggering for some people. That said, I really appreciated how Danielle Allen handled these moments, showing Aaliyah standing up for herself and not letting others' opinions diminish her self-worth or define who she is. And what I absolutely loved is that Allen keeps Aaliyah fat and fabulous throughout the story. There's no magical transformation or a weight loss journey. Aaliyah deserves happiness in the body she already has, and that's exactly what she gets. It's a powerful message in a world that often equates thinness with worthiness, especially in romance. Another aspect of the book that resonated with me was the portrayal of Aaliyah's friend group. They're diverse, supportive, and they're absolutely hilarious. Their stories and perspectives add depth to Aaliyah's journey and provide some of the book's funniest moments. Each friend brings something unique to the table, and their group chats and hangouts are a highlight of the book. It's clear that Allen understands the importance of female friendships and how they can be a source of strength and laughter during the ups and downs of dating and life in general. I want to take a moment to appreciate Allen's writing style. Her prose is witty, it's sharp, and full of pop culture references that will have you nodding along. She has a talent for dialogue that feels natural and authentic, especially in the banter between Aaliyah and Ahmad. The pacing of the story is well done, with a good balance between the humor of the dating scenes and the more emotional moments of self-discovery and romance. One of the themes that Allen explores beautifully is this idea of self-love and how it relates to romantic love. Through Aaliyah's journey, we see that true happiness and fulfillment come from accepting and loving yourself first. It's only when Aaliyah is truly comfortable in her own skin that she's able to open up herself to the possibility of a real, meaningful relationship. The book also touches on the pressures that many women, particularly Black women, face when it comes to relationships and marriage. There's an expectation from society and often from family to be partnered by a certain age. And Allen addresses this both with humor and sensitivity. She challenges these expectations, showing that there's no one-size-fits-all approach to love and happiness. Now, those spicier scenes in the book. Allen doesn't shy away from sensuality, and the chemistry between Aaliyah and Ahmad is off the charts. But what I appreciated was how these scenes were written with both heat and heart. They're not just physical encounters, but moments of emotional connection and vulnerability. Danielle Allen writes these scenes in a way that's sexy without being crude and intimate without being overly graphic. One aspect of the book that I found particularly interesting was how it addressed the intersection of body positivity and sexuality. Aaliyah is confident in her sexuality, and the book celebrates this. It's refreshing to see a plus-size character portrayed as desirable and sexual without it becoming a fetish or treated as something unusual. As I near the end of this discussion, I want to touch on the book's exploration of personal growth. While the romance is central to the story, Curvy Girl Summer is also very much about Aaliyah's journey of self-discovery. Through her dating experiences and her interactions with Ahmad, she learns more about what she wants in a partner and in life. She becomes more assertive, more confident in her choices, and more willing to take risks for her own happiness. The resolution of the romance is satisfying, but it's even more satisfying in seeing how Aaliyah has grown by the end of the book. She's not a different person. She's still the same fabulous curvy girl she was at the beginning, but she's more self-assured and more clear about her worth. Curvy Girl Summer is more than just a romance novel. It's a commentary on love in the digital age, a celebration of self-love, and a reminder that the best relationships are built on mutual respect, understanding, and genuine affection, not just perfectly curated profiles. It's a book that will make you laugh, fan yourself, and maybe even shed a tear or two. Danielle Allen has crafted a story that's funny, relatable, and heartwarming. It's a perfect spicy read that will have you laughing, sighing, and rooting for Aaliyah every step of the way. Whether you're navigating that complex world of online dating, dealing with family expectations, or just looking for a feel-good romance, Curvy Girl Summer has something for everyone. Before I wrap up, I want to highlight a few key takeaways for me from Curvy Girl Summer. 1. Self-love is the foundation for any healthy relationship. 2. True connection often happens in unexpected ways, even in our digital world. 3. It's okay to set boundaries with family and stand up for yourself. 4. Body positivity isn't just about acceptance. It's about celebration. And 5. Friendship is just as important as romance in our journey to happiness. I highly recommend picking up your copy of Curvy Girl Summer by Danielle Allen. It's a book that will leave you feeling uplifted, empowered, and maybe even inspire you to jump into the dating pool yourself. Or at least appreciate the fact that you're not dealing with some of Aaliyah's more colorful dates. That's all for this episode of Culture Lit. If you enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, leave a review, and check out the curated digital bookshop where you can purchase Curvy Girl Summer and other fantastic Black romance books. And remember, love comes in all shapes and sizes, and sometimes the best romance stories are the ones that celebrate exactly who we are. Until next time, keep celebrating Black love in life and in literature. You've been listening to Culture Lit with Octavia Marie. And that's all for us this week. Be sure to listen, download, or subscribe to more episodes of Culture Lit. You can find Culture Lit on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Apple listeners, please be sure to leave a review and let us know what you think. Don't forget to talk to me on social or share your Black love stories at Becoming Octavia Marie on Instagram or XO Octavia Marie on Twitter. Make sure you sign up for our occasional newsletter and join our community at culturelitpodcast.com.